Good Friday evening, everyone. And been a while since you've seen this set. Well, this is going to be the start of my summer horror reading challenge. This is part one. So I have 4 books here that I really am hoping to knock out by next weekend. And these books are under 200 pages, and they should definitely be tangible. I will show you what I'm going to read for this first vlog. I'm going to start off with Peril Beneath the Surface by John Lynch. And this is about a graduating class that goes to a cabin, and there is a mysterious creature living in Lake Budlong. So this one definitely sounds awesome. That's going to be first. The next one I'm going to read after that one is Toxic Love by Christopher Triana. And pretty much a woman who is obsessed with crime scene cleanup, and she meets a man and they both become infatuated with each other. So this one's going to be a little bit gross. But that is book 2. After that will be Food Court of the Damned by D.W. Hitz. And this one is the shortest of the bunch. It's a 90s throwback horror novel about a very cursed food court. So that's book number 3. And to wrap it up, Starving Zoe by C. Derek Miller. This is a splatter western, and judging by the cover alone, it looks like a zombie story. So, without further ado, I'm going to present this vlog to y'all. So, expect this vlog to come out in probably a week. But I'm going to get to reading, and I will give you periodic updates. I'll see you later. Let's begin, shall we? Well, it's Sunday afternoon, and I didn't film a thing last night, so I did start Peril Beneath the Surface on Friday night, and I got to page 51 exactly, chapter 5, and so far this book really reminds me of Stephen King's The Raft. There are technically 3 different storylines we're following right now, and the main storyline we're following is just this group of kids that are on Lake Budlong, and they don't know that there's a creature lurking beneath the surface. I really did like the prologue to this book, and that really set the tone for the whole thing. There's another POV in here that needs to be explained more, but so far I think I'm really enjoying this. So I'm going to try and knock out the rest of this today, or probably tonight. So no time wasted. Let's go ahead and read. I'll check back in about an hour or 2. I'll see you then. But right now, Peril Beneath the Surface. Well, it's Monday afternoon, and I'm here for update 3 on Peril Beneath the Surface. and I read some of this last night. Didn't quite finish it, but that is my goal for this afternoon. But I got to page 103, chapter 13, and let me tell you, this thing really picked up. So, it turns out that there was this group of teens that tried to cover up an accident that they caused because of a prank, and their friend died by their hands. So, the dad is now on a path of vengeance. But there's more to the story, because there is still an alien substance beneath the lake. But this still follows kind of like a serial killer perspective, and just a revenge tale. But I'm really, really enjoying this. So I have about 42 pages left. I'm hoping to knock this out within like an hour. It's extremely easy to read, and I will give you an update when I finish it. But right now, I'm going to finish Peril Beneath the Surface. I'll see you in about an hour. But back to reading. Well, I'm back. I finished Peril Beneath the Surface, and this was a very fun novel. Though it took a minute to get going, once you got into like the whole creature feature thing, this really became brutal and just had like a throwback vibe to it. I really enjoyed the story, and the characters were kind of idiots, but they have to be idiots because they're teenagers. But I really like how the monster was portrayed, because it was kind of like a shapeshifter. And I really enjoyed this book. It's definitely a book that is up my alley. I love creature features with like nostalgic vibes. This book probably could have been written in the 80s easily. So, this is book 1 of 4 completed. And I'm going to give Peril Beneath the Surface a 5-star. This one was a very fun book. So, that is complete. And on camera, I'm going to show you what I'm going to start next. We're going to start Toxic Love by Christopher Triana. And I'm going to read the back of this. Toxic Love is a darkly comedic and erotic nightmare from Splatterpunk award-winning author Christopher Triana. Throughout this tale of perversion, gore, and necrophilia, Triana pens powerful characters who will move you just as deeply as they'll repulse you. So this one definitely sounds messed up and brutal and gross. So let's get this thing started. My goal for this whole vlog is to at least read about 50 pages a day. I finished this in 3 sittings, so this one is slightly longer. It runs to 178, and it is the longest of the 4 books I picked. So I'm hoping to read quite a bit of this tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and crack this open and update you when I get to a good point. But right now, book 2 of 4, Toxic Love by Christopher Triana. Here we go. Tuesday evening, everyone, and this is going to be my first update for Toxic Love. and I ended up reading 50 pages of it last night, and I am roughly on chapter I'm on chapter 7. So far this book is extremely graphic and very gross. So that's definitely old Christopher Triana for you. But this follows a man who was recently down on his luck because he's going through like a divorce, and he has 2 grown daughters. So he like needs to start his life all over. And he decided to go into like the crime scene cleanup field. Well, he meets a woman by the name of Sage, who is a complete narcissist on blood and guts. So they pretty much start falling for each other. There's a scene early in this book, and it's like one of their first investigations, if you will. They were literally cleaning up the remains of like dead children. Well, they ended up doing, by the dead children. So it's it's a little erotic. So far I'm like really digging the story despite how gross it really is. But I think it's a really, really fun time, although it is very repulsive. So I'm going to read for at least an hour or two, and then I'll update you next time. But I know it's a little bit later in the day, but I got to get some reading done. So, Toxic Love. It's Wednesday evening, and I'm terrible at updating. So, still on Toxic Love. I didn't read as much as I wanted to last night because it was getting a little bit late and I value sleep. But I made it to page 77 exactly. I'm 101 pages away from finishing this. So, pretty much at the halfway mark. So, Mike and Sage got caught in the act, and now they're doing their own separate thing. But then Mike decided to get really into cutting himself, and now they're back together. So that's pretty much what I know so far. And at page 90, that starts part 2. So that's going to be my goal for tonight. I know I said I wanted to read 50-ish pages a day, but that did not happen last night. So I'm going to read for a while and update you next. But still on Toxic Love. I'm hoping to finish this by the weekend. Here we go. Good Monday afternoon, everyone. And been a while since I updated you. I had a very productive weekend, so I got absolutely no reading done. So the last time I updated you was Wednesday. But I'm glad to say that, yes, I'm still working on Toxic Love, but I'm only like 58 pages away from finishing it. And this is a very wild book. So, the last time I left you, Mike and Sage pretty much got back together and they were still getting freaky deaky. And now he is very interested in necrophilia. So, the scene that stands out to me the last time I updated you was on like Christmas. Sage's cousin, which is like a hitman, he found 3 recently deceased bodies. And you can probably guess what goes on from there. It was pretty... yeah. So this is a very, very wild book. My goal today is to finish it. So, I'm not that far away, but that's what I'm going to do right now. I'll update you when I finish this thing. But right now, let's get back into Toxic Love. Hello. It's a few hours later, and I have finished Toxic Love. This book was extremely messed up, but it definitely got to the point hard and fast. And I don't mean that as a pun. Yeah, this was definitely like a blood-soaked, erotic nightmare. So, the last few chapters of this book were insane. But it kind of ended on a hopeful note. Or did it? So, this was a really solid book. Very messed up, but extremely, extremely graphic with all the violence and bloodshed. And of course the sex. So, I would honestly give this probably 4 stars. It was a little much at times, I'll tell you that much. But whoever thought that crime scene cleanup would end up being like mafia based. That was kind of like the twist to this novel near the end. So, another good solid read. And I guess I get to show off my 3rd book for this vlog, and that will be Food Court of the Damned by D.W. Hits. And I'm going to read the back of this to let you know what it's actually about. In this 1990s schlocky horror throwback, a group of Floridian teens get summer jobs at the mall to pay for their trip to a music festival. Unfortunately, working at this mall's food court comes with a price, and they will be lucky if they escape with both their lives and their souls. So, like I said, probably like a demonic cult that is part of this mall. It's definitely going to be interesting. So, probably going to read a little bit of this and update you tomorrow to see how far I get. But right now it's literally just after 8. I'm not going to read much of this because I just read the last 58 pages of this. But I'll read as much as I can. I want to try and get this vlog out before the weekend. So I'm like kind of crunched for time here. But anyway, book number 3, Food Court of the Damned. Hello everyone. It is Tuesday afternoon, and last I updated you, I'm about ready to start Food Court of the Damned. So, this is going to be the first update. I did not start this last night, so I'm going to start it today and read as much of it as I can. This is only 108 pages, so it's the shortest of the 4 books that I picked out. So, as a refresher, this is about a group of teens who take a job at a food court saving up for a music festival. But what they're in for could cost them their lives and their souls. So let's get to reading. I'll update you when I feel accomplished. So I might read this whole thing in one sitting, or I might read half of it. So let's get going. I'll update you very, very soon. But right now, Food Court of the Damned by D.W. Hitz is my 3rd book in this vlog. Let's do it. Good Wednesday evening, and I'm here for an update. So, I did start Food Court of the Damned yesterday afternoon, and I got halfway through. So I'm on page 51, chapter 8. And so far, this is kind of like a schlocky 90s B horror movie. This thing is wild. So practically we're following 4 teenagers who are ready for summer jobs, and all they want to do is save up for like a music festival. Well, they start getting jobs in the food court, and there is something demonic wrong with it. So there's like this red sauce that like possesses people, and they become murderous towards other people. But there's also a food related entity that like literally comes to life as well. This thing is weird, but it is definitely the definition of 90s schlock. In fact, it takes place in 1993, so that's definitely like a good early 90s B horror movie. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up tonight, and then I'll only have one more book to conquer, so I'll update you sometime tomorrow when I finish this. But other than that, time to knock this out. See you next time. It's Monday evening, everybody, and this is a long overdue update. So it turned out I had a very busy weekend, but I'm back with updates so I can finally finish this vlog. First update is I did manage to finish Food Court of the Damned on Thursday afternoon, and this was a very fun novel. Very, very weird, but it essentially was about a cult that literally took over this food court, and they were pretty much worshiping a blood demon. So, kind of like a fun, nostalgic horror short story. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. So, that was book number 3 completed. On that note, I did start Starving Zoe. I started this on Saturday, and I'm now on page 60, chapter 4. And so far, this is a love story, but it's also like a revenge tale. The story kind of like picked up at chapter 3 because Robert Jack was a soldier who just came back from the Civil War, and he fell in love with like this 14-year-old prostitute. Turns out the prostitute Zoe decided to sleep around with an Indian, and that really pissed him off. So there are minor spoilers here. He found out that she had a baby by a Navajo Indian. So he exacted his revenge, and he pretty much threw a baby down a well. So after that, he decided to starve Zoe to death. And now Zoe, with the help of a Navajo medicine woman, is a Rougarou slash skinwalker. So yeah, this is kind of like a zombie novel. So far, I'm kind of digging it, but it's a little slow. I mean, the first chapter alone was just written in first person with barely any dialogue. And it just like told you the story of Robert Jack. But so far, pretty decent. And I'm going to continue reading this tonight. Guys, I'm hoping to finish this by tomorrow and hopefully start editing this vlog, because I guarantee you it's going to be another long one. I started this vlog on June 1st. It's now June 18th. But I haven't read every single day. So it's time to put a wrap on this vlog. But I gotta finish this bad boy up first. But onward. I'll update you as soon as I can. If not later tonight, then definitely tomorrow. I wanted to read a little bit earlier today, but man, I was just exhausted. It was a very, very busy weekend. But enough rambling. It's time to read some of this. I'll see you next time for an update. Update time. It's Monday evening, and I swear this will most likely be my second to last clip for the first vlog. So, let's see where I am. Last night, I started on page 60. Now, I'm on page 100 of Starving Zoe. That gets me to chapter 6. So I got 2 more chapters and 40 pages left. This is a very, very weird story. And it's literally all about revenge. So Zoe is now a skinwalker, and she's just out to ruin Robert Jack's life and maybe watch him die one day. This is a very different novel, but it is very repetitive as well. When I was reading it, it was like all about how he just had sex with her. That happened in like 40 pages. But this might be my least favorite book of this first vlog. But I'll do a ranking when I do officially finish this book, which will be tonight. So you might finally see that last clip tonight. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and finish this puppy. 40 pages left. I'll see you when I finish this. Adios. Well, after basically an hour and a half, I just finished Starving Zoe. And this ended up being an okay book. I did like the way that it ended though, because it had the whole finality to it, which means both parties did die and love found a way to just make them get over themselves. So this was just basically hell hath no fury like a woman scorned type story. It was decent, but I would honestly probably give it 3 stars. So with that out of the way, now that I finally am wrapping up this vlog, I'm going to go ahead and rank all 4 of these books for you guys. So, coming in 4th place is Starving Zoe. I wanted to enjoy this book more, but it got very repetitive. But it's still a pretty solid story. So that's number 4. And at number 3 was Food Court of the Damned. This was a very fun 90s-esque satanic schlock fest. I really enjoyed it. And at number 2 is Toxic Love. This was probably the grossest thing I definitely read during this whole vlog, but I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I really did enjoy Sage, the main love interest, even though she was very, very sick in the head. But this was definitely a very good Christopher Triana book. And I guess without further ado, my favorite read of this first vlog was the book that I started off with, and that was Peril Beneath the Surface. This was the book that I really wanted to be awesome, and it was. So, just a good supernatural slasher that really ended on a very high note. So, those are my thoughts on all 4 of these books. And I want to thank all of y'all personally for tuning in. But I am gladly going to wrap up round 1 of my horror reading challenge. My final page count was 571 pages through 4 books. So that's a pretty good reading amount. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for part 2. I will give that away tomorrow. But if you like this sort of content, like, comment, and subscribe. And look forward to more vlogs this summer. Otherwise, I'm going to bed. Good night.